What is going on, everyone? Griffin here, coming at you with some Aisling gameplay, and we're going to talk about my favorite support slash utility build for Aisling. So let's head over and let's talk about it. So this is my current favorite build that I have specifically for Aisling, and the way that I kind of have this built out is more of a support slash heal, and as you can tell by a lot of the things that I have in the loadout itself, it kind of lends itself towards that. Now the first thing that I did was get the projectiles, right? The spectral wave to shoot the projectiles. That way I was going to play her a little bit more passively. I was going to play her a little bit further back than just being a straight melee slash frontline character. So that allows you to do some pretty incredible poke damage. Not to mention Sir Kador or Kador is able to get out there and do some pretty decent melee damage, but that's not how I have him built out primarily. So for the level 2 upgrade, I do have the Kador's defense, so he buffs armor of nearby allies and Aisling, and then I also have the Kador's restoration, which heals nearby allies and Aisling. So basically the way that I like to play her based on how these upgrade paths go is to throw Kador out, resummon Kador close to myself and close to my allies, basically use them as a heal bot, right? Heal bot slash armor bot, and be able to still do a pretty significant amount of damage in the meantime. Then we go back to our attack here, and we are going to get spectral defense, so on ally hit buffs armor of ally. That's why I'm wanting to play a little bit further back. That way whenever I am, trying to actively attack with the projectiles, even if I'm missing it and I'm firing it into a group of my teammates, still doing a lot of great things there by buffing the actual armor of those characters. For the level 5 build we have here is the Sir Kador. This activates on the Q, blocks nearby enemy projectiles, and then also it goes into buffs armor of nearby allies. So that way I can trigger the Q while I'm in a team fight, and it will allow a pretty significant amount of armor to come out in that regard. Then we go into why this is called test heal slash run. So for the F ability, whenever you pull Kador back into the sword, it restores stamina and allows to sprint while casting, and then it also buffs the movement speed. So basically you can push in if you start to get pushed from the backside, if you start to get flanked, or if you push too far in, you can actually call Kador back into your sword. You get that stamina, you get that movement speed whenever you do that, and it allows you to get out just a little bit faster. I could have, went with the restore shield and then buffs healing on nearby allies and self, or gives debuff immunity to nearby allies and self. But I thought that this would be a better way, in my personal opinion, to play her, so that you could actively use it as like an escape mechanism, since she doesn't have a traditional escape type ability. And then we go into the level 9 and 10, which, in combat buffs stamina regen and outside health regen, and then also buffs movement speed and armor. So for the talent, we are using total recall, which increases the healing that you receive whenever you call Kador back in, and within 10 meters of enemies reduces cooldown by 8 seconds, so that if I am being pushed, I can call him back in. It does reduce that cooldown significantly. I do get a little bit of healing, but Echoes from Beyond would probably not be a terribly bad talent to go here because it increases the size of the Q. And it also heals Sir Kador whenever you actively use that. So it allows him to stay up just a little bit longer. But since I'm not using him as an offensive tool and more of a defensive tool, I feel like Total Recall is the better choice there on that. I really do like this build quite a bit. I have been using it for the last couple of games that I've played with Aisling, and it works really, really, really well on either Rush or Clash game mode, especially since you start out, whenever you're playing Rush at level 10, you have all the benefits from using Sir Kador the way that you are. The only thing that I kind of wish that they would have changed up is possibly a talent or some type of an upgrade path for Sir Kador that basically made him more passive than he currently is, because whenever you call him in, he's going to start attacking people and he's going to run off and all that stuff. So you have to constantly keep bringing him back to where you are. It would be cool if you could just drop him into a position. You could basically play around it, kind of the same way a couple of the other characters, whenever they summon things in, you kind of play around where they exist. It would be nice if that would happen, but also I do see the benefits of having it built out that way, because if your team is actively pushing someone, then it's going to keep that heal, that AoE heal and armor buff on as many people as possible, especially if your team is trying to, get a final shot on someone. So there are some benefits, there are some negatives. It would be cool if there was a talent that allowed you to pick one or the other, where Sir Kador would either be super aggressive and attack someone and possibly increase the attack range. I don't know if that would bust Aisling. I haven't tested her enough to know. Or where whenever you summon Sir Kador, he stays in this specific confined area that allows the heals and the armor and all that stuff to get popped off like it's supposed to. And then if you want to move Sir Kador around, you can actively re-engage that right click on him and move him around as needed. Basically as a healing turret or a healing station that you can kind of move and fight around on the map. Like I said, I understand why it's not designed that way, but it would be really cool if that was an option, because there's a lot of times where you're actively in a team fight, you throw Sir Kador out in the middle of the team fight, and whenever like one of the characters either uses a movement ability that allows them to either like dig underground or teleport or something like that, then Sir Kador automatically targets the next closest enemy, which may be away from where your team is actively pushing. So you have to pull him back over there where you're at. And sometimes whenever you're in the heat of the moment, you don't fully like keep in mind that dude's not with you, right? That you have to actively move him around to be able to get those benefits. But that's the only thing, honestly, that I would change about the character or the build. I think that Aisling has a ton of damage output, and I'm sure that if you ran Aisling as more of just a melee champion as opposed to, a caster type of character, then probably get more damage output. But like I said, I wanted to run Aisling as this kind of off support / damage character, and I think that she excels very, very well in that regard. And I think there's a couple of characters that excel in that regard, which feels good, because you can run a couple of high damage, high support characters and still be able to be very well oiled as a machine and do everything that you need to do. But this has been my favorite build with Aisling. Be sure to let me know what you think of this build in the comments down below. If you haven't already, please check it out. Let me know what you think about it, and if there's anything that you would change or anything that you would do differently with the build, be sure to let me know that in the comments down below. Also, be sure to check that description for links to Facebook, Discord, and Twitter. Those are the places to contact me. If you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. If you've already subscribed to the channel, then consider hitting that join button to become one of the 256 crew members. Lastly, on Thursdays and also on Sundays, I will be streaming here on YouTube, so if you are interested and available, please feel free to stop by and say hello there. Thanks for watching, guys. Oh, behind you. They're pushing our wall builder. They're pushing our Trump.
Builder Bob. Bob the builder.
Oh God. I've got some, if you don't ult, you can use your focus to upgrade our things or whatever.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm going to use my, actually.
Dude, fucking big guy just kept pushing me.
I'm gonna upgrade our healer that's right over on A. Right. One button. I didn't mean to summon him back in the sword. All right, we got their thing. We got their... Yeah, if we kill their summons, then it adds 30 points to our thing. It's 10 for... Awesome. It's 10 for a kill, 20 for a orb collection, and I think it's 30 for a killing a summon.
I wasn't there to be able to attack.
No, you're good. I had to back out. I'm dead here. They just ganked me so hard.
They just interrupted my ult. Oh my god.
Right, they're pushing in on E. I'll like kind of go over there and help Deli Man out a little bit here. He's backing. Oh, you got one behind you. It.
Victory is ours.
Most assists. I had 17 assists. Good God. I guess you get assists for healing people and stuff. 'Cause I had 10k healing.